Once again on the record, and this would be the case of State of Ohio versus Michael T. Dixon. Case number is 20CR0201, and Mr. Dixon is here with his attorneys, and the prosecution team is here. And we had Deputy McKnight, Detective McKnight on the stand, and I believe that Mr. Pearson was going to continue his direct examination of Mr. McKnight, or actually Deputy McKnight. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. Detective McKnight, you had indicated that you went to the property on Chestnut Grove Road to investigate gunshots, right?
Yes.
A shot had struck a vehicle on another lot. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And you arrived at about 3:30 in the afternoon on the day of July 25th, 2020. Is that what you testified to?
Yes.
And you were with another officer, Lieutenant McManaway.
Yes.
You indicate you turned your body cams on.
That is correct.
All right. I'm going to have you take a look at what's been marked previously as Exhibit RR. Joel, is this RR1 or RR2? RR1. Go ahead and pause it there. I cannot see the time on this. So it looks like it's 12 seconds in of RR1. Detective McKnight, does that look familiar to you?
Yes, it does.
What is that?
That is Mr. Whitaker's residence.
Okay. And how is that being recorded again?
By Axon Audio and Video, body cam that we wear on duty.
Okay. And is this the video of you and or Lieutenant McManaway's body cam on that particular day?
Yes.
Okay. I hear a vehicle, something revving outside. Can everyone else hear the witness? Okay. If you can't see the video, please raise your hand and we can make accommodations for you to see it. All right. Detective McKnight, walk us through this video as it's being played. You can go ahead and continue playing, Joel.
Okay, this is we parked up near the roadway, and we are now walking back towards the residence. This is the garage or building on the left side here.
What happened there, Detective?
At that point in time, that is when Lieutenant McManaway actually started his Axon video and audio recording. So it buffers for approximately 30 seconds. So once you turn it on, it'll go back and show video, just not sound, 30 seconds prior to activating the video.
And so now it looks like we're 30 seconds in, about 30 seconds in, and now we have video and audio. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Hello, Sheriff's Office. Huh?
Hi there. How are you today?
Oh, good.
Is this the Whitaker house?
Yes.
Okay.
Pausing it at 2 minutes into playing the video. What do we see here, Detective McKnight?
This would be the view from Lieutenant McManaway's camera and Melody Dixon answering the door.
Where are you at this particular time?
At this time, I am to the left of the house, over here off to the side. I believe you probably heard Lieutenant McManaway make an acknowledgement. When he knocked on the door, I heard something move through the house, a creak in the house or whatever. Told him I thought someone was inside.
Okay, continue.
Okay. Were you guys doing any shooting earlier today?
The Caverners one. And then we went out and shot otters.
Okay. What was you guys shooting?
Magnum.
What, a 44 Magnum?
45.
Okay. How we doing?
All right.
We shot guns. 40.
That's on the road.
Well, she said you guys were shooting.
I shot
We're
things.
shooting a 22.
Well, she said you were shooting a Magnum of some sort. But you have maybe a 44 or 45?
She's got a 50.
First of all, who do we hear on camera? Detective McKnight.
Currently here you are hearing Lieutenant McManaway asking the questions and then Melody Dixon and Michael Dixon making the responses.
Okay, and so Melody and Michael are the ones shown on camera at this particular time?
Yes, Melody is in the black shirt and Michael Dixon is no shirt.
Okay. And this is paused at 2 minutes and 43 seconds in. What's the nature of this conversation?
He's talking to them about shooting a firearm.
Okay. And she gives one answer, Melody does, correct?
Yes.
And the defendant gives another answer, is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Your Honor, may we approach briefly?
Yeah.
I think you can,
Elephant muzzle loader.
Okay.
Once.
What'd you shoot in it? What kind of ammo?
Hold on.
Okay.
Show ya.
That'd be terrific.
This one's bullet's about this long and it's got rubber on the back.
Can I see one?
pause. We hear music, is that right, Detective McKnight?
Yes, that is correct.
Where's that music coming from?
Inside of the residence.
Now it's being picked up on the body-worn camera, correct?
Yes, it is.
Is it loud when you were there on that particular day?
It is loud enough that you had to talk a little louder over it, but I wouldn't call it thumping loud, but loud enough that it was a little disturbance.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, sorry. I didn't realize I was so close.
What did you shoot at?
Huh?
What did you shoot at?
You see a Taurus? Well, not the Focus,
Yeah.
but the Taurus, the one that's turned over.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
And then,
What's a hollow point, is it? Okay. Was you shooting anything else?
That and the 22.
Okay. We had
I
a.
only shot that once and I can show you where it hit the tree
Okay.
because I know they go far. It's like shooting a rifle, the new ones.
Well, it's no big deal. We had somebody that fired a gun and it struck a windshield. Nobody got hurt or anything like that. But it would have been in this general direction.
You still gotta know where you're shooting the gun.
It's true, but we knew you guys, some people said you guys did shoot and they thought you guys were shooting earlier today, so we just wanted to make sure it wasn't you guys. Now, what was the handgun? You said there was
Oh, baby.
oh,
sorry,
yeah.
you said there was like a 45 or a 44 or something.
No, I'm talking about these. the big muzzle loader. It's a 45 muzzle. That's what the government said.
What that was?
50, I think, caliber.
Okay. What size bullet were you shooting out of it? Just those, or was there other bullets too?
No, those green ones he showed you.
Yeah, the green ones.
I don't know what they're called. It's on the box.
Sabbats legs?
Yeah.
This is a 22. It's BB gun.
Okay. Well, I mean, we're not, yeah, that's clearly not it.
Yeah, it's a Daisy. It's a BB gun.
Okay. It's a nice looking BB gun.
It's old.
Okay, well, sorry to bother you.
Ain't bothering us.
Sorry for the inconvenience. I don't know.
I mean, if you
Someone
didn't,
else around here was shooting today?
It sounded like it's always. I'm trying to think of them
We think it's
people's
the
names.
people.
was it,
Reed.
because there's several rental cabins, and I don't know if there's anything between you and, because it happened at a rental cabin. Just a couple doors down.
Because I know there's a guy that goes up the hill that comes only on the weekends that shoots a lot. You go down the hill, and it'd be the, I think, first driveway on the left.
Can you show me, Miss, can you show me what you shot earlier when you were shooting the muzzle loader?
The Taurus. I don't want to say that.
Not weird or nothing.
I want my shoes.
Yeah, you go ahead and get your shoes. You got a long ways to walk up there with bare feet.
Pause. Pausing the video at, the time down there, 6 minutes?
6 minutes, 25 seconds, sir.
Okay, great. What is happening now in this particular portion of the video?
At this time, I'm speaking to Melody to have her come show me where she shot the firearm that she said she had shot. Lieutenant McManaway told her she could go grab some shoes because she didn't have shoes on to walk up over to gravel driveway. So we're waiting for her to get her shoes so I can walk up so she can show me where the gun was shot.
Okay. Earlier, before playing this video, you had mentioned Melody kind of itching and moving kind of weird. Is that what you were talking about, what we see on this video?
Yeah, one point specifically, she kind of startles a little bit and moves back, and then she's kind of moving her arms and just moving them in, putting them in different locations and things, scratching her arm. It's just more than a fluid movement. It's just a little twitchy, little different.
Okay, thank you.
It's actually for a 50 caliber for a muzzle loader, a pretty heavy bullet.
Right. Yeah, I'm familiar with them.
Are you?
Yeah.
That's the first one I've ever had.
That's a hollow point.
Could be.
Well, I mean, it is what we're looking for now.
Man,
Okay.
that's how you take the back off.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's
It's,
not fully a hollow
right size,
point, but it just,
Well, it's a hollow point. That don't matter. It just goes away. The rubber smashes and
Right.
leaves.
All right, miss, you want to show me what
I'll give you this back here, sir.
Yeah.
What's your name?
Michael Dixon.
Okay. I thought I recognized you. I hadn't seen you in a long time.
I'm gonna try to keep it like that. I try to stay out of trouble.
What's her name?
Melody's my daughter.
Okay. Do you live here now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All righty. At least you've been staying out of trouble. That's good.
I don't see how it could have been us. I
Well,
take precautions.
whoever it was not an intentional thing. It was probably a ricochet, and it's probably 100 or 1,000 to 1 shot that it hit their windshield. Because you can't see anything from it, but clearly it was shot. And when we have a bullet, so
Yeah,
I mean, it definitely was shot.
figures like caliper.
Yeah. Be about a 44, 45. So it'd be, just like that almost.
I'll say, very much difference in this than a 45.
No, I mean, almost nothing. So, I mean, it's pretty close in size. All right, well, I'll see you later. Thank you.
And what happens here, Detective?
At this point in time, I am up at the other end towards the driveway near a fire pit area, talking to Melody Dixon, and Lieutenant McManaway walks up to speak with us also.
Okay. One moment. Yeah. Joel. Okay. And so, Detective McKnight, at some point in time, we saw you walk away with Melody after she got her shoes, correct?
Yes.
And you went out to where she indicated she was shooting?
Yes.
Okay, so is it okay if we now pick up on your video?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm now going to show you what's been previously marked as State's Exhibit RR2. And Detective McKnight, take a look at the screen and tell me what you see.
Right now, this is my body camera. This is the buffering point where it's not, I haven't activated it yet, but it's buffered back to this point to where I've gone in the driveway and getting ready to get out of the vehicle.
Okay.
Or might even be pulling up to the house at this point.
How did you know that this one's yours versus the one we just watched?
For one, my is in the middle of my chest. That looks more like the car that I was driving that day, and it was an SUV and not a car.
Okay, so you were driving?
Yes, I was driving.
Okay. Now, when you approached the house, you both walked together to the house, is that correct?
We walked together to a specific point. So once we passed the garage there, or the building on the left side, once we passed that, I split off a little bit and went off to the left side of the residence a little bit just to make sure what our surroundings were and approach cautiously.
Okay. I'm going to have Mr. King play it from here as you two are walking. Body cam audio came on.
Yes, that's when the audio came on.
Fast forward till they get close to the house. Stop right here. And resume from here. What's happening now?
What's happening now, I'm kind of splitting off to the left a little bit, go around to the side of the house just to get a view of the surrounding and what's going on. Again, because an alleged gun involved, we have no idea what could have been involved or whichever else, so we're just trying to make sure everything's safe and we know what the surroundings are.
Okay, so you're on the side of the house. Would that be for tactical reasons?
Somewhat so. Yes, sir. Yes, just to be safe.
We just heard you say what?
I heard movement inside or someone inside.
Hello, Sheriff's Office.
Huh?
Hi there. How are you today?
Oh, good.
Is this the Whitaker house?
Yes.
Okay. Were you guys doing any shooting earlier today?
The cabin report. And then we went out and shot arteries.
Pause.
Okay. What did you guys shoot?
Pause. Now we are paused at, can you read that, Detective? I can.
Looks like 2 minutes and 18 seconds.
Okay. Now, from here, do you go to the front of the home and meet up with Melody and Lieutenant McManaway?
Yes, at that time I walked up to the front porch area of the residence.
Okay. So from here until that point in time, would it be accurate that what is captured on McManaway's body cam is also essentially captured on your body cam as well?
Yes, essentially.
Okay, there was nothing of significance that's captured on your body cam that wasn't captured on his. Is that accurate at this point in time?
At this point in time, until I leave, walk up to the walk up the driveway again with Melody now.
Okay. So is it okay for us to skip to 7:15 in this video?
Yes.
That's
Yes,
when
sir.
you exit with Melody?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And the jury won't miss anything of significance?
No.
Okay. pause it right here, Joel. What time is that on the counter, Detective McKnight?
On the counter, it appears at this angle 7 minutes and 13 seconds, I believe,
Okay.
sir.
We'll continue playing from here. What's happening now, Detective?
She's walking off of the front porch, and I'm getting ready to follow her up the driveway to the area where she said that she shot the firearm.
Okay.
Sorry.
Where was you at when you shot at it?
It's kind of direction of burn pile. You know where that is? How do you see it? Oh. Tree.
You did what? Shot through the trees?
No, we saw a tree. I don't know which one it was because, you know,
So where were you standing when you were shooting?
shot the 22 too.
Okay. But just about in the area. Were you shooting this direction? This direction? Up, and then, okay.
Like here and that.
Okay. So you shot the muzzleloader more than once?
No, I shot that one once.
Okay.
22 is easier for me.
How many times did he shoot the muzzleloader?
I think he shot it.
Okay.
It was the 22 because
And where did you aim when you shot the muzzleloader? The tree? Is that what you shot at the tree with?
I don't remember. Because he told me it hit the tree.
What's the timestamp on that, Detective?
Time 9 minutes and 2 seconds.
Okay. Detective McKnight, I want to direct your attention to, thank you, to this item right here in the lower right-hand corner of the screen. What is that, Detective?
That appears to be a car turned upside down, partially stripped and banged up.
Jump ahead in time for a minute. You had an opportunity later to go back to this residence, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Just briefly, what did you do when you went back later?
When I went back to the residence, would have been with Lieutenant Dustin Robinson, the lead investigator on the case, and assisted him in recovering what we believe to be bone out of a fire pit.
Did you find anything of significance, you or other law enforcement, over this? Yeah.
Yes, they did recover a bone, two long bones on the ground in the area behind that vehicle.
Okay. Now, going back to this particular time that is displayed on the video of July 25th, 2020 at about 3:30 in the afternoon, had a police report been made about James Whitaker being gone, missing, or anything like that?
No, sir.
Okay, so did you have any reason to search the property looking for bones or remains?
No, I did not.
Or a body?
No, I did not.
So your purpose there was just to figure out if someone had discharged a firearm that went into a car window, is that right?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. Will you resume playing, please?
But I could have sworn I hit the car. And the tree was over here.
And the tree was over here you would have shot at.
Because like because we shot this car more than once and on different days.
Okay.
So the same guns, bullets are in it for
Gotcha.
other days.
Okay. All right. So at some point, she can't remember now if she shot the muzzleloader into the car or if maybe she shot it at a tree out here.
Because we also shot the 42 at it. And I know we hit the Taurus with the 42, but I went I don't know, I shoot a lot. And it's usually my bow.
Okay.
But
Gotcha.
I wouldn't think it would have went as far as what.
Well, like I told Michael, this is a 1 in a million shot. Nobody planned for this shot to happen. You couldn't reenact this shot if you had to.
Right.
$1 million.
Right.
It was just luck of the draw. It went through everything, probably ricocheted and.
What was it? What was the bullet?
What's that?
Well, you know what type of bullet was?
Similar to the one you guys had over there. About the same size, maybe hair smaller.
No, mine tastes smaller, does it?
Get like a 45 automatic or, you know.
That the camo one. It's the long muzzle loader.
No, I don't think it's the muzzle. You have any other bullets for that one? Besides
No.
just those?
Yeah, because I asked him and he's like, no, you have to shoot it with this because it's stronger, and you can't do it the other way because it's specially made. I don't know.
Certain guys have to shoot sides. I understand.
But the 22,
But they make different type. It wasn't 22. So
I don't know that much about these things.
well, that's probably a good thing because you don't know what to tell them. It's kind of hard to make stuff up. You don't know what's going on. But was there any other gun besides the 22 and the muzzle loader?
No. That's all we have. And my bow.
Was anybody else here shooting?
My dad took the 22.
Okay. But was anybody else here with a different gun shooting?
No, he's been here today.
Okay, it was just the way you worded that just a second ago. It just seemed kind of weird. Seemed like there might be somebody else here shooting.
No, he's waiting on a friend to get here because my freaking motor. And we've been waiting on a couple hours and we're getting anxious because
So he's your dad? Okay.
Michael Dixon.
That's Michael Dixon. Okay. I
I
didn't
thought I
know.
recognized him. I hadn't seen him.
What's your name?
Melody Dixon,
Melody. How old are you?
18.
All right, well, we'll leave you alone. Just make sure if you guys are out shooting, make sure you have a good backstop.
I did good what?
A backstop. Something bullet you hit.
And stop.
Oh, yeah. I don't shoot that much. The guns, cause this, you know.
Okay, but you know, any way you're shooting down the here would not be a good idea.
I do realize that though.
Okay.
Well,
All
some
right.
people don't.
All right. Thank you, miss.
Stopping the video here. Is that essentially the end of the video?
That's essentially the end.
Okay. You and Lieutenant McManaway just go back to the cruiser and leave. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. So you responded to a call about a shot going through a window. You go out to the residence, you talk to the people who are there, and you leave. What did you, did that conclude your investigation?
Yeah, so I was assisting Lieutenant McManaway with his knowledge of the area. We believed that that was the best location for a round to come from to hit that windshield. So at that time, after talking to them, we concluded the investigation at that point.
Okay. Now, you had an opportunity to, as you stated earlier, to go back out to that residence. Is that right?
Yes.
About how many times?
I'm guessing 3 to 5 times.
What was the purpose of you going back there?
We conducted a couple of different search warrants at the residence. One in particular was to go into the burn pit, which was close to that location, within about 50 feet of that location, and to sift through the burn pit to try to find bone or body parts.
Whose body parts were you looking for?
James Whitaker's.
You became aware that James Whitaker's remains may be in that burn pit?
Yes.
Again, you weren't leading this investigation, you were just part of it, is that right?
I just assisted, yes.
Okay, at what point in time did you realize, oh wow, I was at that residence on July 25th?
When one of the officers told me that we had this missing person and that we had actually been there, the discussion was that, we was at the house about a day prior to, or sometime prior to the call coming in of the missing person.
Okay, so when you became aware James Whitaker was missing, you had realized that a day or two before you had actually been there?
Yes, sometime, I don't recall if it was the day before, but Yes, we had been at that residence talking to the same people.
Okay. Okay. At some point in time, did you go back and look at this body cam footage that was just viewed by the courtroom?
Yes, I have. I reviewed it.
Is that body camera footage true and accurate depictions of what happened on that particular day and what the
Yeah.
area looked like?
Yes, it is true and accurate to what happened that day and the way everything looked.
Okay. When you were there later, do you remember those dates or those days?
I do not specifically remember those days, no.
Okay. Who else was there during that particular time?
Detective Dustin Robinson?
Okay. Were photographs taken of that scene?
Yes.
I'd like for you to take a look at State's Exhibit D0082. Detective McKnight, does that look familiar to you?
Yes, that appears to be one of the crime scene photos.
Okay. Crime scene photos where?
At the residence of James Whitaker.
Now, this seems to be a series of photos, correct? This is one in a series of photos, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Does this, were you there?
I don't believe I was there during these photographs. I don't recall what date these were taken.
Okay.
I've seen several different photographs.
That car that's overturned, is that the same car that was in the video that we just watched?
That is the same car and the same garage in the background.
Okay. State's Exhibit D0083. What is that a photograph of, Detective?
That is a photograph of bones.
Okay. Your Honor, could the witness stand and point to the screen?
Yes. Any objection to that? Objection. Go ahead.
Okay, actually in the photo, of course you can see the vegetation. And looks like a truck camper top right here.
All right. Detective, we have people over here too that need to see.
Sorry. You see okay?
On the next exhibit states D0084. What is that photograph of, Detective?
That is a more close-up depicting the bones.
Okay. And states exhibit D0085.
That is a photograph of the car that was there when I was first on scene on the 25th, with in the background the camper top. And it appears that from this photo angle, you wouldn't be able to see the bones from this photo because the car would be blocking that view.
Okay, so when you and Melanie were walking out and she was showing you this area on July 25th, 2020, you and her walked this way or around the car, is that correct?
Yes, we walked around the side of the car. The burn pit, if I may approach again, the burn pit was in this area, so we walked around this side of the car.
Okay. We see the same camper top here that we saw in the previous photo, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
So the bones would have just been right in this area, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Thank you. Your Honor, at this time, the state would move to admit State's Exhibit RR1 and RR2. Those are the videos.
No objection. All right, thank you. They're deemed admitted.
Did you do anything else of significance with respect to this investigation, Detective?
Other than assist Detective Robinson with the burn pit and a couple of other things while he was investigating the residence, no.
Okay, and again, you're operating at the direction of Lieutenant Detective Robinson, is that right?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. Thank you. I have no further questions this time.
All right, thank you. Cross-examination.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Afternoon, Detective.
Good afternoon.
So I only have a few questions for you. You mentioned that from Melody's movements, her mannerisms, the scratching, things like that, based on your experience, you believe that she may be under the influence. Is that correct?
Based on my experience, yes.
Right. You never asked her specifically about that, right?
No, I did not.
I didn't see that in the video. And she didn't appear to be in such a state of distress that you had to call a squad or anything like that?
No, she did not.
Okay. No further investigation needed about the influence, right?
No.
But she did appear to be under the influence to you?
She appeared to have the actions, yes, of someone that had the chemical in their body with the movements.
Okay. And earlier you said that you believed it may be the effects of methamphetamines, correct?
That would have been my assumption. That is my assumption, yes.
At least your guess. At the
My
very
guess,
least.
yes.
Is it fair to say that when people are under the influence of methamphetamines, sometimes their memory can be a little fuzzy?
Yes.
Okay. So when you were asking questions about the caliber of gun she shot or which direction she shot, the fact that she was unable to immediately know which direction, that wouldn't be that unusual with a person under the influence, correct?
No.
Okay. And you were asked about the path you walked along to where the burn pit was, correct?
Yes.
And it was that you had walked along, I guess if we were looking at the photo with the car in front of us, you walked on what would be sort of the front side of the car, correct?
Yes.
And that was along the pathway essentially toward the burn pit?
Yes.
Okay. So to walk around the other end, the other side of it would have been essentially diverting off the path unnecessarily?
Correct.
Okay. And so it didn't seem unusual to you that she would walk the path that she did, correct?
No.
All right. And at the end of that, just based on what I saw between you and it was a Detective McManaway,
Yes.
that the two of you essentially deemed the incident to be concluded and you would left the scene after that?
Yes.
And no charges were filed as a result of gunshots or anything like that?
No.
Okay. And you didn't ask her any specific questions about where Mr. Whitaker was, correct? I don't remember seeing that on video.
No.
Okay. And again, I know you were asked, I think, at the very end, but that is basically, other than, I think you said, assisting Detective Robeson with raking, essentially what we saw in video was the totality of your involvement. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Okay. And so you clearly weren't there when Mr. Whitaker died, correct?
No.
And you weren't there when either before or after it even happened, correct?
No.
In fact, that was on the 25th, so that would have been weeks after he allegedly died. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Nothing further. Thank you, sir.
Redirect.
No, Judge. Thank you.
All right, you may stand down. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Next witness.
Dustin, I know. John Dixon.
Sir, you face me, please. Please raise your right hand. solemnly swear the testimony you're about to provide in this cause is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but true self God? All right, please come around and have a seat there in the little box. And pull the microphone in front of you. And if you could please remove your mask. Right. And Mr. Pearson?
Thank you, Judge.
Your Honor, very brief before we start, did you want to ask about the media?
Oh, thank you. Thanks for reminding me. The media is covering this, even though they're not physically here. They may want to put your picture on stream or maybe in the newspaper. Would you rather they didn't do that? Or,
I would rather they didn't.
What's that?
I would rather they didn't.
Okay, so no photographs of this particular witness, please. All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
You may inquire.
Thank you. Could you state your name, spelling your last name for the record, please?
My name is John J. Middle name Dixon, Dixon.
All right. John, where do you live? You don't have to give the exact address, but generally, where do you live?
I live with my mother on Sam's Creek in Laurelville.
Okay. How long have you lived with her?
Around 3 years now.
3 years? Okay. I'm going to ask you to speak up, okay? Because everyone needs to hear you, okay?
I've been there going on 3 years now.
All right. And also, maybe if you move closer to that microphone. Great. Out of all the witnesses, you're the first one to figure that out. What do you do for a living, John?
I work at T&D Thompson Sawmill at the moment.
Okay. You work at a sawmill at the moment? Okay. How long have you worked there?
I've gone on 3 years.
All right. Sounds good. What's your mother's name?
Denise Specie.
And your father? What's his name?
What are we considering father?
Okay. Is she married?
Yes.
What's his name?
Frank Specie.
Okay. And you have a brother?
Michael.
Okay. The man over here in the black suit with the glasses? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. My apologies, but this is being audio recorded, so I'm going to need verbal answers, sir, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. Who's older, you or him?
I'm the oldest.
All right. All right. You know why we're here, correct?
I know why we're here.
I'll just jump to the chase. You don't want to be here, do you?
I don't want to testify against my brother.
Okay. But you realize you were obligated to be here, right?
I'm obligated.
So the police arrived at your residence at some time where you live with your mom and Frank, is that right?
That is right.
Okay. And do you recall what they were looking for?
When they came with the search warrant, they were looking for a gun, yes.
Okay. Did they get that gun that they were looking for?
Out of my trunk.
Okay. Now, let's back up a bit, all right? Whose gun was that?
Initially, it was Michael and Jimmy's gun.
Okay.
I bought it from my brother for $150. I paid him in payments over time. He didn't get the $150 for took him like 4 weeks. I think he was expecting it all at once. He was kind of bummed about the whole stretching it out. But that's how I acquired the gun.
Okay.
I owned it for about 2 months.
You owned the gun for about 2 months?
Yes.
Do you remember when that was? Like what month that was that you got first possession of the gun?
I don't. I owned it for about 2 months whenever this all occurred. About 2 months prior to that, I bought it.
Okay. Did the gun ever leave your possession?
It did.
Okay. Tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury where that gun went and how you got it back and how the police got it.
My brother asked to borrow it. He wanted to go hunting for deer. I wondered why he wanted to borrow my gun to go hunting. I mean, he had plenty of his own, and Jimmy certainly had plenty of guns.
Okay, so let me stop you right there, John. Michael had stated to you that he wanted to borrow your gun. Is that right?
Yes, because it hunted good. He had hunted with it before.
Okay. But that struck you as curious because Mike and James both have their own guns. Is that right?
Yeah.
But he wanted to borrow yours.
Yeah.
Did you let him borrow it?
It was an argument. But he eventually, I let him borrow it. Not when he came for it, but the next time he came around, we had a little scuffle, not a fight, but an argument about the gun, and I let him borrow it. Because when he sold it to me, he did ask me for permission to use it, to go hunting with it. So I let him, I thought nothing of it.
All right. Again, please keep your voice up, okay? How long was the, so you just gave him the gun?
Yeah.
How long was the gun gone until you saw it again?
I was thinking it was about 2 weeks, but it was about a month that he had it, I do believe.
Okay, when did you see it again?
A short time before all the cops came.
All right, a short time before all the cops came, is that what I heard?
Yes.
Okay, well, tell us about it. How did you see it? Where did you see it?
It was under my daughter's bed. It was there when I got home from work. I didn't notice it until I was laying down. My daughter doesn't live with me. She lives with her aunt and uncle. They have a better, more stable house situation. They're more suited for her to stay there for her final year of school. I'm good with that. She comes to stay with me on the weekends. I have a little tiny room. We have 2 twin beds in there. She has hers, I have mine. Mine's full of clutter. I'm a clutter bug. I collect things. I like things. I bring things in and I work on them and I end up with a bunch of clutter. Okay. So there's never any room under my bed. She is not a clutter bug. She's very clean and tidy. It's always clean under her bed. So I imagine that's why it got stuck there.
So Mike didn't tell you when he brought the gun over and put it under your daughter's bed?
I don't believe so. I can remember, but he did tell me that it was there eventually.
Okay. Do you know if this was?
I may have had to ask him when he brought my gun.
Okay. Did this occur after July 4th, 2020?
I have no idea.
Okay. Let me ask you this question then. How long had the gun been back before the officers came and took it? How long
A week.
Okay.
A week.
So you noticed the gun under your daughter's bed and then like a week later the police came back? Or came, I guess it went back.
I'm probably a little off on my timing, but right now it seems like, yeah, the gun was only in my place for about a week and
okay.
The world came to an end.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
The world came to an end.
Okay. And by that you mean all of this of what?
All of this crashed down in everybody's lap and.
Okay. Well, where did the police ultimately retrieve this gun from?
I set out in my trunk.
Okay. How did it get from under your daughter's bed to in your trunk?
I took it there. I took it there because when I got off work, my stepdad, Frank, who I grew up under the understanding he was under disability.
What does that mean, under disability?
You're not allowed to have a gun, from what I understand. I've never been through the system. Can anybody help me out?
Well,
weapons, disability. If you're a felon, you're not allowed to have guns.
Okay, and that's your understanding, correct?
Right. So we grew up. We never had a gun in the house, ever. I'm 43 years old now. I moved away. I moved back in with my parents. I bought a gun. I'm 43 years old. I wasn't allowed to have a gun with my wife and kids because she was terrified of them because of her crazy stepdad.
Okay, so
I was in fear for my stepdad and the weapons disability being a thing still. It wasn't to hide the gun or to get rid of evidence. I see drones everywhere every night. I know you guys have me under surveillance. You guys knew I put it in my trunk. So I wasn't trying to hide it.
okay, well,
I just didn't want it
John,
in the house.
John, I need to ask you a question first, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. So what prompted you to take it from under your daughter's bed and put it in your car?
My stepdad told me when I got home from work that the police were here today with a search warrant. They want to search the house. They're looking for a gun. I said, Frank, he told me that he told them there was no guns. He did not know there was a gun in that house. He didn't. It was in my room. He don't go in my room. I don't go in his room. I said, Frank, there is a gun in there. I'm going to get it out and put it in my car, and I'll take the heat for it. So
Is that what you did?
that's exactly what I did.
Okay.
This is me taking the heat.
Couple of follow-up questions. Did Michael have access to the house that you were living in?
Yeah, it's our childhood house.
Okay.
We're good.
So he didn't have to go through any special rigmarole to get in the house, is that right?
If my parents were there, the house would have been unlocked. He would have been able to get in. Now, I can't say that he would have been monitored the whole time. I mean,
They treated him like a son in their house.
he is their son.
Okay, so there wasn't like a falling out or anything like that?
No,
Okay, so they weren't like watching him extremely closely for any particular reason, is that right? Okay. So,
I've heard so many things that
John,
my gun
John,
wasn't.
I'm sorry, you have to wait for me to ask a question, okay?
All right.
My apologies, but those are the rules, okay? Thank you. So again, Mike had your brother had access to the house, right? The defendant had access to the house. Okay, I'm sorry, is that a yes?
That is a yes.
All right, thank you. And you came home from work one day and Frank says the police are wanting to search the house, look for a gun.
That is correct.
Okay. And you did what you felt was right to not get Frank in trouble?
Yes,
Okay. And you put the gun in your car?
in my car. I mean, I knew they were coming with a search warrant. A search warrant entails the property and all things on the property. I wasn't trying to dispose of it.
Mhm.
As you guys can well see, it was in my car. If I was trying to dispose of it and hide it, I would have gotten it out of the property. I was just trying to get it out of the house.
Okay.
That's it.
So if you were trying to dispose of it, you would have taken it somewhere else?
Obviously, I mean,
Yeah. Okay. And the police got there and did they ask you about the gun?
I don't believe they did. They said, you know what we're here for.
Yeah. And what did you tell them?
Yeah. Where is it? In my trunk.
You didn't lie to them about it?
No, you got the paperwork. You know what I said to them. Did I lie to them about it?
I'm asking the questions and
I'm telling you what you guys already know. No, I didn't lie to them about it.
my apologies, John. I know this is stressful for you, okay? But John, I'm going to be asking you questions. It's important that you just answer truthfully for everybody in the room, okay? Thank you. And you were truthful with the police about where that gun was, right?
Yes.
And you didn't give them you didn't argue with them and you didn't fight with them and you really didn't lie to them. Is that right?
I didn't lie to them at all, really. I mean, the really doesn't need to be in there. I give them the straight honest. I told them what they needed to know. I didn't beat around the bush.
Just like you came in here and did today.
Right. I give it to them straight.
Okay, I appreciate that. Thank you. John, could you describe that gun that was in the trunk that you gave to the sheriff's office?
It was a 12 gauge. I don't know a whole lot about a Winchester, maybe a Winchester Remington or Remington Winchester. It was two gun names together. That's all I remember about it.
Does this look familiar, John? And that state's exhibit NN. What does this look like to you, John?
That is the gun. That's the case that it was in.
And the case you put in the trunk as well?
That's it. I had it in a trash bag.
Oh, you had this whole case in a trash bag?
Gun and all.
Is this the weapon, John, that you put in your trunk?
It would appear to be.
Okay. The weapon that you allowed your brother to use, he returned under your bed, and then you put it in the trunk of your car. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And the police later got this weapon and seized it.
Once they had the search warrant and came back, yes.
Okay. John, I have no further questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Cross-examination?
Your Honor. Good afternoon, Mr. Dixon.
Good afternoon.
Sorry if I call you John?
Just
Okay. My name is Attorney Dorian Baum. I represent your brother Michael. You know that, right?
yes.
As you mentioned earlier, you don't really want to be here today, correct?
Correct.
It's pretty stressful for you. Okay, I'm gonna try to
Yes.
make this as easy as possible for you, okay? So, as you mentioned, and let me preface this with, I don't think anyone here is trying to get you in trouble. You understand that, right?
Right.
Okay. So. So, how long have you known your brother Michael?
He's my brother. I'm 43 years old.
Okay.
I've known him 43 years.
Okay.
We've been through a lot.
So, obviously you said over those 43 years, you've known him very well, correct? He is your brother. Had the same sorts of fights and things that brothers have, right? I imagine.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever felt unsafe around him?
No.
Okay.
No, he was my protector.
He was your protector?
Michael was my big brother.
Okay. So you felt protected around him?
Objection, Your Honor.
Approach.
Now, John, did you talk to police at any other time other than this occasion when they came to get the gun? That you recall?
The first time they came and they retained us and brought us in for interrogation and questioning or whatever.
Okay. Now, do you remember, over the years since you've known both Michael and I presume you've known Jimmy as well?
I've known Jimmy for the last 2 years.
Last 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Is that essentially since Michael started living with him?
Yeah.
Okay. You'd been privy to their relationship?
Yes, in that time.
Okay.
They had a love-hate relationship. Jimmy and Michael loved each other, but they also hated each other.
Okay.
They were too much alike.
Is it fair to say that there was conflict within their relationship?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you ever hear Jimmy threaten him?
Absolutely.
You did?
Yeah.
What kind of threats would he make against Michael?
That he would kill him. One day somebody was going to end up dead.
Speak up.
Objection, Your Honor.
I'm having trouble
Move to
hearing.
strike.
And why don't we approach here?
The honest truth.
The jury is to disregard the last statement made by this witness.
Now, John, you said that you'd seen interactions between Michael and Jimmy. Is that right?
That is correct.
All right. Without getting into what anyone said, at any point did you see Jimmy take an aggressive posture with Michael?
He took one with me.
He did.
Yes.
Took an aggressive posture with you?
Yes. Michael, I went up to help them out on occasion, on orders of my mother. If it wasn't me, it was Mom. Because Jimmy would call needing help, a ride to get cigarettes, or to get cigarettes, Mountain Dew, to the store, whatever. Not a lot of people came around to help Jimmy. So we did it. I was there, had brought them their cigarettes and Mountain Dew and probably ice cream sandwiches, paid for it out of my pocket, the gasoline, everything, as had occurred quite often, because it was expected. I mean, my brother lived there. We tried to help out, to help pull his weight. So we did as was asked. Michael asked, they were working on Michael's Volkswagen at the time. Jimmy had bottomed it out and broke a pan or something or other. It was parked in his garage. He wanted to take me out to that garage, Michael, to show me what he was doing to it. Jimmy stayed in the house. We were out there for about 20 minutes, and then Jimmy came out hollering.
Now remember, you can't say anything that he may have said to you, all right?
We needed to get out of there, and then it got heated, and he came out and pointed a gun at me and told me to get off of his property or he would shoot me.
Jimmy pointed a gun at you?
Yeah, I said, Jimmy, we had never had a problem up to that point. I'm like, really? And Mike, John, go, he's mad, he'll calm down.
Okay, so is it, obviously this happened where he pointed a gun at you?
This was about a month before, 2 months before this, it all came to an end.
So this is in the summer of 2020?
Yeah, this was last year.
Okay, either May or June, you're saying?
Yeah, May, June. It was warm out.
Okay, and I presume Jimmy wasn't always like this around you?
No, usually he was great. I mean, welcoming, friendly.
But on this occasion, he drew a gun on you?
Yeah.
Pointed it at you?
He was peeved that we were in his garage. He thought we were in there stealing stuff.
And he pointed it at you?
Yes.
Did you feel scared?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I had a gun pointed at me. That was a first. I didn't make a lot of it. I went back later.
Objection, Your Honor.
At another time.
John?
Sir, stop.
Okay, and sir, I know you've got things you want to say, but
I really didn't.
just know that when we're in here, as I believe the state did tell you, there are certain rules, and I'm not blaming you. I understand that you're not familiar with this, but when we'll ask you a question, then you can answer. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Dixon.
I thought I was in follow-up.
I understand.
Just answer the question you're asked, please, Mr. Dixon. Thank you.
Your Honor, I have nothing further this time. Thank you, John.
Thank you. Redirect?
Yes, Your Honor, just briefly. You indicated that Jimmy pointed a gun at you when he thought you were stealing from him
Yes.
and told you to get off of his property.
Yes.
Okay, you're quite younger than Jimmy was, is that right?
I I think Jimmy was about 60.
Okay,
So,
how old are you?
15 years. I'm 43.
Okay. So you're quite a bit younger than him, is that right?
I guess, yes, 15 years is quite a bit.
Okay. And when he told you to get off his property with the gun, you got off his property, is that right?
Absolutely. Why would I stick around, argue with a man with a gun? That'd be stupid, right?
Okay. So you didn't kill him and put him in a burn pit and burn up his body over the course of days, did you?
Hold on, we have an objection.
John, you've answered my question. Thank you very much. The state has no further questions.
Recross?
Yes.
He's been recrossed now.
Just one question. On the day where you were threatened with a gun, no one died that day, correct?
Nobody died.
You didn't have a gun that day? Nothing further on. Thank you.
Anything else?
No, Judge. Thank you.
All right, at this point, I think we'll take a break. And Mr. Dixon, you're excused, sir. You can go home or go back to work, whatever you got to do, okay?
I'll go to work. Thank you.
All right. And ladies and gentlemen of the jury, as I said earlier, do not discuss the case among yourselves. Do not permit anybody to discuss it with you or in your presence. It is your duty not to form or express any opinion on the case until it's finally submitted to you. And so we'll have you back in about 15 minutes. That'll be about 25 till. Thank you.